The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Hey folks, this is Carl Gallups from Freedom Friday. Today is Friday, April the 12th, 2013. Last Friday, I interviewed lead investigator Mike Zullo of the cold case posse of the Sheriff Arpaio Obama fraud investigation. I interviewed Mike Zullo for an hour and a half, and during that time we took calls from all over the world. But during that time, Mike Zullo revealed some of the very latest evidence and information in the case. I want to do a quick recap for you here, plus some of the very latest information as of today. First of all, the recap. 6 or 7 points. Point number 1, just 2 days prior to last week's interview, Mike Zullo confirmed that that brand new information had been received in the investigation. Brand new information, which bolstered the legal evidence of the long-form birth certificate being a 100% fabricated and fraudulent document. Now, they already knew that, but the new information came unexpectedly from a professional source of the investigation, and the information is 100% ironclad, solid, irrefutable. So now they have even more solid legal investigative evidence that the birth certificate that Obama has proffered, his only identifying document, it is absolutely 100% a fabrication and fraudulent document. The second update was that within the last couple of days before last week's interview, Mike Zullo had several lengthy meetings with some VIPs, some very important people of standing who have promised to soon bring this case forward in an official manner. The VIPs, as I said, they are of standing. They have authority to bring this case forward. They've promised full public exposure to the case, the evidence, and to the hopeful ends of a full and official hearing of the matter. Another thing that he revealed was that there was a definitive plan of action that was now being formulated with several VIPs at various government levels to make what I just said happen as soon as possible. Also, he revealed that several other VIPs have now scheduled meetings with Lieutenant Zullo, and they are expected to come on board with this whole exposure process. We don't know that they will. We're hoping that they will. They have made contact with Lieutenant Zullo. He also revealed for the first time publicly that a certified source of legal investigation has now signed off on the cold case posse investigation and has declared the evidence to be 100% accurate and the document in question to be 100% a fabricated fraud. Now, this particular source that signed off on the investigation is certified to testify in federal courts throughout the nation. That's huge, and he revealed that for the first time on Freedom Friday. Another thing that we said was that I identified that there's at least one VIP who has reneged on their promise of further meetings and investigations, and I am going to, sometime soon, out that VIP by name. In the meantime, I possess the entire email trail from this VIP's office and the people in his office. What's interesting about that is the VIP's office is trying to deny that they ever set up a meeting, yet the VIP email trail from their office indicates that they knew exactly what the meeting was about, who it was with, and they actually set the meeting, which they later backed out of. So I will out them very soon. Also, Lieutenant Zullo said that public disclosure of the evidence and the push for definitive legal action may take from 3 to 6 months, depending upon the plan of action that's being formulated by the VIPs, and they're also trying to get other VIPs on board with them. Again, 3 to 6 months, or it could come sooner, but there are further meetings being scheduled at this time. So something is going to happen. We ask you to be patient. Also, just a couple of days ago, one of the major players, one of the major VIPs called Zullo and confirmed that I will call it the big plan A. It is on target and scheduled to happen. This is huge news, and this just happened a couple of days ago. Now, folks, listen, the Obama bots are going crazy about this, but my challenge is still unanswered by them. I have asked over and over on the air and on the internet, give me one piece of 100% legally verifiable evidence that Obama is even a United States citizen. If you'll do that, I'll shut up and go away on this issue. But they haven't. They won't. I say because they can't. Instead, what do the Obama bots do? They attack our character. One idiot last week on the show called me and, actually called Lieutenant Zullo a liar on the air. That's what they do. They mock, they name call, and they threatened, but they are irrelevant. I get emails begging me to go on their little silly internet shows. Why? Because they want to ride on the coattails of the popularity of Freedom Friday. They want free advertising. Listen, folks, millions of people around the world have heard of me and my show, Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups, but no one has ever heard of the Obama bot radio shows or internet shows. Have you? Of course not. You see, this is why I don't go on their shows. If you were listening to last week's show, old Fred, somebody that called in, had to lie to my program producer, Mallory, even to get on the air. That's what they do. They lie, they cheat, they steal. Gee, sounds just like Satan, Let me give you an illustration of their ignorance. Last week I said on my radio show that Lieutenant Zullo and I were at Mount Vernon while we were waiting on our airplane. We had a couple of hour delay, so we went up to Mount Vernon. An employee at Mount Vernon told us that Obama had never been to Mount Vernon and that he was the first president in history to never go to Mount Vernon. I had an email sent to me with vile cursing attached to it, claiming to prove that I was a liar, what I said on the air. Well, so I read the article in the email that supposedly would prove that I was a liar. But the article spoke of Obama releasing a Thanksgiving turkey to the Mount Vernon farm. But the article never said a word about Obama going to Mount Vernon. In fact, the article was clear. Obama himself never set foot on Mount Vernon. You see, this is the mentality level of the people who prop up Obama. This is a perfect example of the idiocy and the lunacy. They can't even read a 3-paragraph article correctly. Mount Vernon, by the way, is privately funded. It's not run by the government. An employee can freely talk about it, and they can freely tell the truth about Obama not visiting. They can also freely tell the truth about George Washington, his character, his faith, etc. There's no government censorship. There's no revisionism going on at Mount Vernon. Obama, the only president in history not to visit Mount Vernon. And that is the truth. Now you know the very latest updates. Again, Lieutenant Zullo and I cannot and will not give anyone exacting details and names and dates and times and places. Of course, the Obama bots would love for us to do that so they could attack the people who are involved in this big Plan A that is on its way. All we can say is, folks, be patient, pray, and wait. People are working on this hard. We're closer now than we have ever been. God bless you.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.